Welcome to Columbia City, everybody. This is the brand new series here on the channel. It's going to be a big city. It's not going to be a small project, and I'm so looking forward to this. So, why did I decide to do this? Okay, well, listen, New Windsor's been going on for a year and a half now, since the late autumn of 2017, I believe. That's how long New Windsor's been going on for. And the only thing I've started since then is Calavera Beach, which is a smaller project, a much smaller project, which, by the way, if all goes as planned, Calavera Beach should also be returning soon. And listen, you guys can't complain about me starting a lot of series without going and complaining that $2.20 is starting a lot of series, because he's probably got like 5-6 series in the channel now, and he's starting another one. I don't know. But anyway, the point is, I've been putting off starting this new series for a while. I've been itching to build a new big city, but I've been trying to just make New Windsor, quench that itch, if that makes sense. That's definitely not how you say that. I don't know, it stopped working, and I finally wanted to build something new. I wanted to plan the city from scratch rather than sort of expanding it out as I went, because I felt like New Windsor had a lot of shortcomings when it comes to infrastructure. The infrastructure in New Windsor, like the road layout, was, I mean, it was very realistic for New England, but I didn't want to build a city that had such ill-planned out roads, and it was even too ill-planned out for New England, if that makes any sense. So I wanted to go for something a little bit more American, if that makes sense. So we're on the West Coast. We're going for Seattle as the basis of this project. We're back to the Pacific Northwest. We've worked on a Pacific Northwest project in the past with Aramore, but we're here for another one because, listen, Seattle, something about Seattle that I really like is the amount of infrastructure it has. It has so much cool infrastructure everywhere. And one thing I've been itching to do is just build really cool mass transit systems in-game. And New Windsor was already too developed for me to do that. And it needed to just be a new project for me to do that in. And I was searching around, the United States to find a city that had a mass transit system and a highway system that I thought were really interesting and unique. And I stumbled across Seattle after sort of dismissing it as, I've sort of done a Pacific Northwest thing. Well, listen, Aramore was a really unrealistic project. I feel like I could have done it a lot better in hindsight, and it's definitely not anywhere close to what we're going to be going for here. What we're going to be going for here is going to be a lot larger. We're going to have much, much, much taller skyscrapers than even New Windsor, actually. We're going to have some tall skyscrapers here, taller than the Columbia Center in Seattle, and I plan to place the Columbia Center in here, because why not? But it won't be the main center of focus. We'll have some other skyscrapers that are even taller. I want to build a big city, okay? And I think that's something a lot of people want to see as well. Calavera Beach is going to be our small town project. New Windsor is going to be our want to work on rural areas and work on a previously expanded city project. And there's going to be a place for that. Right now, I just need to take a little breather, take a break from New Windsor. And listen, I haven't been uploading much recently, and I really do apologize about that. I mean, first of all, I've been extremely busy. I've had no time. I don't know. All of a sudden, I've had no time. But now, all I've got to deal with is finals, and then, I'm gonna be about done. But finals aren't even for a couple of weeks, so I've got a little time to breathe. No papers due. We're good, and it's ready. It's ready. We're ready to get started on finally a new series. And yeah, okay. Another thing. So the Patreon rewards are going to be altered a little bit. So the way it's worked is that $1 patrons, just anybody who gives some money on Patreon, which you can find in the description, gets access to the next episode of a series when it comes out. So say New Windsor episode 36 comes out, you'd get access immediately to episode 37. The problem with that was it was giving me, I had to stay on a tight schedule with series to make sure that the gaps between the videos going out on Patreon and on YouTube were not extremely long. And I wasn't really able to do that all that well, unfortunately. As in, right now, I've got a New Windsor video that's been up for a long time, just sort of sitting there, and I've got another New Windsor video that is almost done that was going to go, I don't know. And then we've also got a Calavera Beach video that's actually been sitting on Patreon for probably 2 or 3 months. That's like the best episode I've done in that series, and to upload it on the channel at this point, I'm going to have to redo the voiceover, because what I say will be sort of irrelevant, because you know, it's commentary about the state of the channel back then and the series back then, and, you know, it's months later. So the point is, I needed to change something with the way Patreon rewards work, because I don't want to be stuck just doing 1 or 2 series, and I don't want to be stuck making... I want to be able to take a break from a series if I feel like it, because I don't want to get burnt out, you know? So I decided on a different way of doing things. So anybody who becomes a $1 patron will now just get access to the next video, not necessarily the next episode of a series. So as in, when New Windsor episode 37 comes out, you'll get access to episode... You know, say the next video I make that's ready is episode 10 of Calavera Beach, then rather than getting episode, what did I say, episode 37, so rather than getting episode 38 of New Windsor, you'll get episode 10 of Calavera Beach, if that makes any sense. And, you know, I felt like the other way of doing things would, like, help me stick to a schedule, but it's just too rigid. And with 3 series, obviously, that's not gonna really work. And I don't know. I don't want it to be too rigid. If you want to not be a patron anymore, go ahead. I mean, I feel like you're not really losing anything with the new sort of system, and things are a lot more relevant to really everybody, because the commentary is much more recent. And it gives us a lot more flexibility, and that means that if a tutorial video comes out on the channel, you'll get access to it early, which, since they're not series videos right now, patrons never got access to tutorials early. But say I upload episode 37 of New Windsor, and the next video is actually a tutorial on, say, how to place skyscrapers in a realistic fashion. Not planning it, but like something like that. So say that tutorial comes out, it's the next video. You get access to that early rather than to the next episode of New Windsor. So hopefully you got it now, but that's the way Patreon rewards work now. If you're a patron and you don't like that, you can just not support me anymore. That's totally fine. Just watch the videos. You're good. But yeah, I mean, if that sounds good to you, I mean, and you're not a patron, just, you know, check the Patreon out in the description and support the channel. But okay, Seattle is... Its infrastructure, as I was talking about, is absolutely ridiculous. But here we have this huge, gargantuan, sunken freeway. Because the 5, when it goes through downtown Seattle, is just ridiculous. It's like this labyrinth of lanes, and it's completely ridiculous. I didn't build it to that extent of being just so crazy, but this freeway is pretty crazy. I lay out really the baseline for it, and I try to make it look okay. I mean, obviously, I don't detail anything whatsoever here. We don't even place any buildings, but in terms of the state of the freeway right now, it's totally not done. I just wanted to place the baseline of what we'll have here in the future, and we'll totally redo it as time goes on. I just wanted to place... I need, like, the baseline for our infrastructure in the city done, so we can work on, like, mass transit and stuff like that. Next episode, I don't know if we're going to be placing buildings. You'll see what happens then, but I don't know if we'll place buildings. We'll probably end up just expanding the infrastructure some more before we actually get to placing skyscrapers, because I want to have the general layout of the area around downtown planned out before I place the skyscrapers and the public transport and stuff like that, if that makes any sense. Alright, so as you may have noticed here, we've started work on this pretty huge interchange. Well, you haven't seen it scale yet. It gets really big. So this is going to be based off an interchange in Seattle, south of downtown, between the I-5 and I believe the I-90. Is this the I-90? Yes, this is the I-90. I know my stuff. So it's a huge interchange. It's enormous, and I mean, maybe not LA scale, but it's really complicated. I'll give it that. Because the lanes coming from the 5, coming from the north, and they're crazy, and that's why the highway that's going through what will be downtown is just so ridiculous, as we built it before. So the stuff that's around the interchange that we're basing this off of, I mean, we'll probably end up doing similar things here in Columbia City, but the area around it is very mixed. So on one end, you've got this park with a bunch of trees and a bike trail and stuff like that, which reminds me, we're going to be building a lot of bike infrastructure in Columbia City just because it is, it's based in Seattle, and Seattle's got amazing bike infrastructure. I mean, for the United States, not for obviously Europe. But listen, I'm from Southern California. Well, I'm from the Northeast, but I'm in Southern California, and we've got really bad bike infrastructure. So seeing such amazing, bike infrastructure, like in areas like Seattle, it's really cool. Because I know that exists in the United States, at least somewhere. So we're not failing completely, but I don't know when the last time we made like a top 10 cycling cities in the world list was. Probably never. There's almost no chance that we've ever made one. The closest thing I can think, to a cycling friendly city in the United States is obviously Portland, Oregon. I mean, Seattle's great, but apparently Portland's even better. But even that doesn't even compare to what you find is really the norm in Europe. So I mean, the United States has obviously got a lot of work to do, but Seattle's doing pretty well for what it is. And that means we're going to be using a bunch of the new, I believe, I forget the name, Sea Game World on the workshop. Sorry if I got the name wrong. But Sea Game World, I believe, is the one who's been putting out bike lane roads on the workshop that are like green markings and, the intersection decals for that. So we're going to be building stuff like that in this city, and it's going to be fully realistic, and it's going to be awesome because a lot of cities are doing that in the United States. Cities are getting better about it. They're reclaiming the roads, which used to be good and now have been lost to, cars, which are massive boxes of metal that you drive around in. Just you, not anybody else. Really rare for you to actually go with somebody else, and you're all going to the same place, but you have to be in your own little, big pods, rather than on a stupid train that would get you all there faster. But there's no train because it's America. I don't know, but Seattle's doing pretty well for itself, and it's got a pretty big light rail system, which we're going to be working on. This is something based off of that, at least, in this city, hopefully, and I might implement something like the New York Metro, but, I mean, I've got Metro Overhaul Mod installed, but some new tram roads on the workshop, I forget what they're called, they actually have tracks, like actual railroad-looking tracks, for trams. So I think we can manage with just light rails using those tracks for the entire metro system rather than using Metro Overhaul Mod, because I don't know what else we'd be able to do. Like, I mean, obviously we'd have underground stations, but it is possible to do underground stations, I believe at least, with the these other tracks. And we'd be able to have one unified network of just a substantial light rail system rather than, I mean, I don't even know what we'd use for metro cars, because, I mean, on the West Coast, what do you got? You got just light rail in San Diego. LA's got some light rail, but it's not going to be like what we're doing here. I mean, LA's got a subway, but it never goes above grounds. San Francisco's obviously got BART, but BART is so unique to San Francisco that we wouldn't use those subway cars. For Seattle, I mean, I don't know if I've honestly never been to the Pacific Northwest, but I am pretty sure that Portland does not have a subway. So I don't know what we'd use in terms of subway cars, just something really generic probably, but that's why I think it might be better to keep it as just one unified light rail system when we get around to it. So you can definitely let me know what you think in the comments. I mean, I might start working on mass transit next episode, or at least the infrastructure for it. I might not, we'll have to see, but definitely give your feedback, because I really don't know what to do in terms of combining Metro Rail and light rail, and I feel like just making them the same thing in the city would probably be best, most realistic. But we will definitely have a big commuter rail system. I'd love to do that, and we'll have Amtrak coming in. We're going to build a nice big sunken station, hopefully in downtown, or something along those lines. Or we'll place Penn Station, because there's a really awesome Penn Station asset out there now that I really want to place. But I don't know that it's going to be good for this city. We'll have to see. And we'll probably end up having the rail go underground in downtown no matter what we do, just so they can bypass downtown. I don't know. That's totally all speculation about what we're actually going to do in the future. I don't know what's going to happen. But the point is, we've got an awesome city to use as a basis here in Seattle. Seattle's an amazing, amazing base for a city, Skyline City, and it's exactly what I was sort of looking for in a city, with a lot of infrastructure, a lot of cool stuff. I mean, LA is just, there isn't enough to it for me to want to build an LA city. Like, I'd get really tired of building the rivers pretty quickly. And $2.20 has already sort of got it down. So I wanted to go for something that I don't really see, like an enormous Pacific Northwest city, which I haven't even done. All right, so let's talk about the visual mods I'm using here. So I'm using the Rheingold map theme. The creator, Hades, has not made it public, and Hades's Patreon is paused right now, so I don't think you can get access to it at the moment. And yeah, so I'm not sure if you're able to get access with a one-time donation or anything like that. I got access with a one-time donation, but I'm not sure everybody's able to right now. But yeah, there are definitely you don't even need this theme. It's a really awesome theme, and I wanted to, honestly, I'm using it just because I wanted to try it. I might not even stick with it, but there are other themes in the workshop that you can use that aren't necessarily private. Like Stray Cats Territory is awesome. And then also Arnold J. Rimmer just released a theme on the workshop. Let me check this one out quickly, because I do want to recommend it. I forget the name though. It's the L'Aviance theme, which is just awesome. And I'm also going to try this one. I haven't tried loading it in game, but it looks amazing, and has extremely detailed textures. So definitely check that one out. But yeah, the point is, there are themes in the workshop that are really similar to this one, actually, and yeah, you'll be able to find those. But okay, LUT. I'm using the Vivid LUT, which is essentially the same. I'm using the same settings for the most part that Corrales used in Season 2 of his City Skylines series. And listen, I maintain that was the best season of City Skylines of all time. I put San Minato from Fresh Popcorn at second there, but definitely a solid number one for Corrales' Season 2. That's the champion. So I'm using essentially the same graphics settings, except obviously we've got some new mods now. But in terms of the LUT, same color settings. I'm not using Relight at the moment. I might try messing with it in the future, but what we've got right now I really like, and this will end up looking even better once we play Skyscrapers. That's the magic of this LUT, so you'll really love it. But yeah, I guess it's about time that we hopped in game, and I'll just give you a little tour of the map. Let's do that. Alright, so we are here in game, and okay. So, okay, I play some Skyscrapers so you can get a feel of how the LUT looks. I love it. So this LUT is obviously Vivid, as I mentioned before. and it makes the buildings look so good. So these are just a couple skyscrapers. Just imagine a really big skyline that goes like this whole area. It'll look great. I'm really looking forward to it. These are some buildings by Reaper that I definitely am a huge fan of. So, okay. These are... I guess this is probably going to be the tallest we're going to go. We've also got the actual Columbia Center building, which is obviously in Seattle, which is about the same height. So we're probably going to end up placing that as well. A couple other things. We've got the Aeon Center from LA, then this other Aeon Center, I believe, from Chicago. So I don't know if we're going to end up placing those, but very likely. The anti-aliasing on this building is particularly bad. And what is that even? Why is that conforming to the territory, or the terrain, rather? What? Okay, whatever. Yeah, so that, I mean, overall, okay, that looks good. I'll tell you that. I'm really happy with those colors. So this map is called Suburb Bay, Washington by Apple. It's in the mods collection in the description, hopefully, unless I forget. And what the plan is, this freeway right here is going to connect to this over here. And this other freeway that we just started making, I mean, I think... Okay, actually, there's a possible option to... See, I don't know, because this, theoretically, if it went straight, it would go and take the connection that this national road takes right now. But it's meant to sort of be the main freeway, you know? Like, it's sort of crazy. And once again, we're going to definitely mess with this a lot, because this is looking really bad right now. And whatever we do, it'll look way better than this. Don't worry. But, yeah, so... But theoretically, this should go this way, and that should go that way, but I'm not sure if that's the most realistic option. Because another thing we could do is we could have a huge... And I'd like to have a huge bridge. Like a huge bridge that connects over here instead of the freeway just going all the way around there. I don't know, that could be cool, but maybe a little bit redundant. I guess this is an island or something over here, and we can definitely... build a bridge over here that's a, yeah, that'll be awesome. Like sort of Golden Gate style, just in this channel here. I think that would be awesome. Yeah, this interchange here is very complicated, but I'm a huge fan of it for sure. It's pretty realistic, I'd say. I did a pretty good job basing it off of the one that's in Seattle, but once again, this underground freeway is just a complete mess. So there's a chance that this just ends up turning into ick. That's really bad, actually. Oh my god, that looks horrific. Yeah, no, we've got a lot of work to do here, so do not consider this done. And if we work on the metro and light rail system next episode, we're probably going to expand the road networks around here a lot as well. And we're not really going to touch this here. We're probably just going to work underground. And, I mean, we know the general shape this is going to go in anyway. And I could probably extend the network as it will go... It'll probably end up going across and sort of wrap around here. At least that's the plan, unless we make it go this way, which once again is an option. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But the point is, this looks like total crap, and we're going to fix it. Oh my god, this looks like... Okay, obviously I didn't mean to, you know, have it look finished whatsoever. I was just generally placing down the road layout here. But this looks like something I'd build in, like, my first city. Like, oh my god, it looks bad. So this will totally be gone. Ick. Ugh, look at those slopes. What? What is the... Whatever. Okay, don't worry about that. Let's just not look at it. Let's look at these beautiful skyscrapers. These look really awesome, actually. So the plan is to have them be about that tall. So it's a pretty substantial city. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't built something like this. I mean, this is going to be the biggest I guess Falcon Falls, I did place this particular building here, so, oh my god, that, it's literally, like, conforming to the terrain. That is so weird. I guess it's just because the slope is so crazy, so we'll have to do some, flattening. That is weird. Okay, but yeah, Falcon Falls, we placed that building, so I guess we've built a pretty, like, big city, with Falcon Falls. That's probably the biggest city on, the channel. That was a long time ago. We've gotta do some new stuff, and we're gonna add like piers and stuff, like wharves, like there are in Seattle. It'll be really cool. This is gonna be a fun project, and I hope you guys are also looking forward to it. I definitely sure am. Finally, something a little bit different from New Windsor. So anyway, we're at the end of the video, so make sure to leave a like if you are looking forward to the Columbia City series. I sure am, and it's going to be an awesome series. Hopefully you're all here for it. Make sure you are by subscribing and hitting the bell icon next to the subscribe button so you never miss a new episode of Columbia City. Definitely check out my Patreon, and that over there you're gonna be able to get access to the next video immediately if you just give me $1, which is not much. It's like a third of a coffee. So yeah, if you want to support me, you'll get access to the next episode of Columbia City. That's gonna be the next video that goes up on the channel. But yeah, definitely follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Those are both in the description at prez_YT. I post a lot of stuff on there you definitely want to see. So anyway, that's about it. Hopefully you all enjoyed, and I will see you next time.